Welcome to the Burgundy Gold Knuckleheads podcast. And as always, well, not always, but definitely today, with a big smile on his face, is my main man, Reggio, right over there, right after we whoop some cowboy butt.
Yeah. You know, man, this is good, Ken. This is very unexpected, man. If you listen to our most recent podcast, the two of us was not very confident.
No, not at all.
And I think a lot of fans weren't very confident based on the showing at the bar and all of the people that were trying to sell their tickets for today's game. And lo and behold, the Burgundy and Gold, man, showed up. The team in Burgundy and Gold showed up and decided to say, hold on, folks. We have one more game to play.
Yeah, they were. You would have thought that they were playing, that this was a playoff game. The way they came out, right? Missing players, missing. I mean, kind of the key player on defense at each level. You're missing Cameron Curl in the back, Jamin Davis at linebacker, and then the leader, probably the overall leader of the defense, and Jonathan Allen. And then on the offensive side, number one and number two running back are out, along with decided to run with the rookie Sam Howell today. And so each side of the ball, on offense, the story was the Sam Howell story, and on defense, man, the defense brought it today, right? Without their key player at each level, the rest of them said, "No problem, we got it."
Yeah, and special teams, right? Special teams set the tone.
Well, minus one person.
But special teams set the tone early. Yeah. That we're not ready. We got one more game to play. And to your point, with all the players that we were going to be missing, and having Dallas having something to play for, this was supposed to be the recipe for disaster for Washington. And again, I can't stress how much that myself certainly did not think that this would be a competitive game whatsoever.
Right.
And I gotta admit, man, I was shocked. I was shocked to see the team playing hard and the team showing up and the defense playing. I mean, the way they played the Dallas Cowboys, people are questioning the Cowboys going into the playoffs for the playoff game next week, because we made them look like they're not ready. Dak Prescott did not look well. Their offense did not look well. We were able to score on their defense, which was supposed to be a highly ranked defense. Their defense was going up against a rookie quarterback, man. And I know we'll get to Sam Howell here in a little bit, but Dallas did not look like a team that had won 12 games heading into the playoffs.
No, I mean, to your point, as far as their offense, I mean, because they've got the most, they've produced the most points this season up until this game, and Washington held them to 6 points. It was one drive at the very end of the first half, but besides that, man, they couldn't hardly move the ball all day long. I mean, they finished the day total with 182 yards. That's passing, that's rushing, that's everything. 182 yards. Prescott was 14 for 37, under 50%, well under 50%.
Wow.
For 128 yards. They rushed the ball 27 times for 64 yards.
Wow.
I mean, they were shut down. They third down conversions. I know they had a lot of 3 and outs. I want to say it was 9 or 10 in that ballpark. But on third down, they were 4 for 18.
Wow. Yeah.
4 for 18. I mean, they were Washington defense dominated them.
Yeah, and they had put the stat up at one point during the game that they had 10 3 and outs. I don't know what they finished the game with, but I know at one point they had 10 3 and outs, and I think that was the most or tied within for the season or something like that. But it was an incredible stat, man. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised and amazed at the way the team performed. That they just didn't mail it in. They came out and played hard. Everybody from Curtis to Chase and everybody. I mean, Patterson and Williams ran hard. I mean, Terry and Dotson was still, I mean, it's just you couldn't tell those boys, man, that hey, the season was over. I mean, they played like, to your point, like this was a playoff game. So hats off to them and kudos to what those guys did, man.
Yeah, and there was talk. I think we had even had a talk from you always want to beat Dallas, but in the long run, is Washington better off because of the draft of losing today? Well,
Right.
turns out the four teams ahead of them that they could have jockeyed to move up in position, they all lost. So there was no way for Washington to win. I'm sorry,
To
for Washington
improve.
to get a better pick than the 14th pick. And it was like they're like, well, let's just go out and whoop some cowboy ass today.
Yeah.
And man, they did it from the beginning until the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're probably picking. I know we're not top 14, so we're probably picking at best 15. I don't think the rankings are the final order is in place right now because of the Green Bay Detroit game that's currently playing. But I know at this point the top 14 have been picked and we're not there, so we're at least 15 or later.
Okay,
But I want to talk about the couple highlights of the game.
let's do it.
The 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 pick six by Kendall Fuller, which was interesting because the play before that he had missed the interception, and the Cowboys came right back and threw his direction. And man, he did a pick six, so that was very exciting to see during the game when we were watching that. A little bit shocking was the inconsistency by Joey Slye today. That was
Yeah,
a little bit surprising, which allowed us to leave some points on the field. So that was a little bit surprising. And again, special teams was once again major for us with the two turnovers that the special teams were able to get for us and to give the offense great field position. So
right.
it was awesome, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, and then even I spoke before about how Gibson was out along with B Rob. So they turned the ball over to Jonathan Williams and Patterson, and the two of them had 41 carries for 151 yards. That some of those yards they do include some scrambles by Sam Howell, but from a running perspective, the third and fourth running back, that actually might be fourth and fifth running back because
JD.
JD has been out for most of the season, and those boys stepped up and played hard and ran hard and took advantage of their playing time and did well.
Yeah. So clearly, most likely, the talk, I guess, is going to be the play of Sam Howell.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't know why Washington fans seem to want to fight and argue with the quarterback play. It's one thing to have opinions about the different quarterbacks that we have, but in order for one guy to be right, he has to prove that the other guy is wrong by almost cheering for the other guy to suck. For me, it was always going to be about cheering for who's ever on the center, whether that was Carson or Taylor. And if those guys couldn't do it, and if it was time for Sam Howell to get into the game, then I'm going to root for Sam.
Right.
But there were people who rooted against Taylor to fail just to say that Wentz was going to be better. And there was folks that rooted against Wentz and wanted Wentz to fail just so they can prove and say Taylor was better. And that part I didn't like. I'm not a fan of that. But everyone finally got to see Sam Howell. There's people that have called for Sam Howell to play early. And, what we saw today was promising. What we saw today was actually good. But we talked about it during the game. It's like watching Sam Howell play in week 18 and the way he played doesn't mean that he would have played like that in week 7. He's continued to work on his craft since the offseason, since training camp, preseason, and throughout the season to get to the point to where he was today. And he showed that he's improved. But to think that if they had inserted him in week 7, that he would have played like that. I think it's foolish. I think it's foolish. I think it's naive. But we got to give Sam some credit, man. He didn't look overwhelmed. The game didn't look too big for him. Dallas all week we've talked about how good of a defense Dallas is, and Dan Quinn was going to try to throw some blitzes and kind of confuse them and do some things to get some turnovers, man. And the game just didn't look too big for Sam. I know you're going to touch on, and I'll give you a chance here in a second, but Sam did the things that you would have wanted and expected out of your quarterback. He was accurate. He seemed to command the offense, and he was able to hit his receivers. And he looked like he knew what he was doing out there. And all of those are promising things. But again, we got to recognize there's no tape on Sam either. So let's not put him in the Hall of Fame and the Ring of Honor just yet. But at least he looked like he belonged. And that's what's promising going into the next season, right?
I agree 100% with everything you said there. One of the notes that I have here to talk about Sam Howell was, let the overhype begin, right? The people that have been wanting to see him is going to be the I told you so, I told you so. This is our guy. This is our guy. We don't need to get a quarterback looking next year. This is our guy. The overhype can begin at this point. I'm not necessarily going to be one of those, but he played a good game. He
looked the part.
He was 11 for 19 for 169 yards. The things that I was saying during the game that I really liked was the easy passes. He was very accurate on and hitting the running back or the receiver in stride and making it easy. They didn't have to reach behind him. They weren't reaching at their ankles and jumping up high, and they weren't accurate passes. He made it easy for them to catch the ball.
He did.
And with the accuracy, like I said he was 11 for 19. He had the one that should have been called pass interference to Terry down by the goal line. Yep. It was a good pass, even though it wasn't caught. The one to Dotson was a long pass, and then he threw away at least 3 balls. So that's 5 of the 8 that were missed right there. So take those away, and he was working it today. But to the point, it was a very controlled game, and the plan was to make it easy on him. The one thing that I saw that they were doing today that we talked about all season long about doing with Heineke is they rolled Sam out, right? Some was a scramble, but there was designed rolls to the left and right, and he had to option a pass, or he would just clear some space and then pop it to the receiver. And this is what we were saying. Why didn't Turner do this with Heineke? Because the same skill set, roughly similar, is there. You can say one is a little bit better this and one is a little bit better that, but they have very similar skill sets.
Right.
And Scott Turner didn't do that all year with Heineke. But hey, Sam Howell, he's walking away with a game ball. I mean, come on. First NFL game is against the Dallas Cowboys. You're throwing touchdowns. You're winning the game. He had the one interception in the end zone. I didn't have a problem with the pass as much as the decision. It's a rookie decision, right? He's trying to make a play. You're at the goal line. I got to get this touchdown. It would have been opened up the game. Evidently, we ended up winning by 20 points anyway, but it would have been a breaking game type of touchdown at that point early, and he forced it. He felt like he had to do it, had to get in there to I believe it was Sims, and he should have just thrown the ball away. But besides that one play, man, he played a very solid game.
Yeah, we talked about it during the game. It was almost like he had predetermined he was going to Cam Sims no matter what. And the throw was into double, triple coverage. And it should have been thrown higher. But with the play not being there, he could have potentially just thrown it away and went somewhere else. But other than that, I think what most fans, regardless of what side of the field you stand on when it comes to excuse me, Sam Howell, you got to give the guy credit. And like I said, the game didn't look too big. He looked like he was in control of the offense, and he didn't look nervous. He
Yeah.
just looked like he was prepared. And I'm going to go out here and run the offense, run the plays that they're calling, and do my best to put the team in the best spot. He ran. He used his legs.
Well, I mean, now we knew who Sam Howell was because we drafted him and he came on, but the spunk and the using the legs and scrambling, trying to make things happen. Did it remind you at all of Heineke's first game? And and you're like, what is this guy doing? And again, we had no clue with Heineke when he came in the first game ever against Tampa, but it was still, it was kind of reminiscent of that, of the excitement of this young new quarterback that we really don't know, unless you're a North Carolina college football fan, nobody knows a whole lot about him.
Right.
He didn't get, we saw little spurts of it in training camp that people liked, but again, he's a 5th, 6th round pick and wasn't expected to even play at all this year. But he definitely brought some excitement on a handful of plays. I think there was a play where you throw it away, and as the one that he scrambled in for a touchdown. It was just, he had a little bit of the it factor in the game today, and Washington, like I said, walks away with putting it on Dallas 26-6, and it could have been worse than that.
Yeah,
points wise, it could have. They probably left at least 10 points on the field.
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, what was also good about this, man, is I think that we were happy and celebrating. In regards to our celebration, is the fact that once again, this was one of those games, other than the fact that the rival between the two, but it was also a game that we went into that no one gave us a chance to win, right?
Right.
Yours truly. We didn't give ourselves a chance to win, and we certainly know nationally we were not expected to win this game. And we went in. The last time this happened was Colt McCoy came in, right?
Right.
And in this case, we're coming in with a rookie who was essentially our third QB. To play against Dallas, who had something to play for, and we look more like the playoff team than the Cowboys did. And whether that is because they just thought that we were going to lay down, or just some players maybe perhaps felt like we're in the playoffs, so we don't need this game. I don't know, but all I can tell you is I was happy to win. I know if part of me felt like a loss would benefit us better, and I certainly thought that we would get slaughtered, going to this game, man. But to see the complete opposite of all of that, and to come out with this win, and it wasn't just a last second win, it was a pretty dominant performance. Makes you feel pretty good, man. And so at least we go into the off season feeling pretty good about the team, even though there's a lot of unknown and a lot of changes, I think, coming down the pike. But man, today's win feels pretty damn good, brother.
Well, it's funny because, less than a week ago, we were ready to burn some of our gear. Not that we're going to turn it back on the team, but you're just so mad, man. I can't wear this gear. We blew it at the end and everything, and then all of a sudden, you come along and beat Dallas to finish the season, when getting to the playoffs means nothing. But man, I agree with you. It sure feels good. Another thing I'm grateful for today is that I don't have a bookie, because Washington was only favored by 7. And the bookie and Vegas, I bet you they made a lot of money on this game, because I thought 7 points was a low point spread for this. I would have thought it would have been double digit. If I had to put $500 down on a team, it wouldn't have been Washington today. But hey, that's a reason why you shouldn't bet on the NFL, I guess, right?
Always makes you wonder what Vegas knows that the rest of us don't know, man.
Yeah. Gambling, whether it's with Vegas or with your friends, gambling is normally a losing effort in the long run. Yeah. But today,
today was a good day.
Today was a good day. And with Washington pulling out the win, like I said, it takes out the sting. We're going to end up doing a wrap up of the season, kind of a season in review. But as we look forward here, you walk away with a win. Washington fans are happy with that. of beating Dallas, and then right on the horizon should be the sell of the team, which is which might be Washington Commanders' personal Super Bowl this year. The end of the Snyder era happens, so that's something else to look forward to. Even though we're not in the playoffs, it's going to be interesting to see, what personnel changes are on the field, and then what personnel changes are on the sidelines. Not in uniform, but the coaches. Potentially, we could see something there, and we can talk about that as those things happen and as those things go. But today was a good day, just like Reggie said.
Today was a good day, man.
But
So just wanted to give a quick reaction, man, to the game, man. Whew. I did not see it coming, but I'm happy.
No. And you kept on waiting for Dallas to come back, and the defense that wasn't having it. We were up by 13 for a minute or two, and you thought, oh, they're going to come back and they're going to start scoring and pushing it. And like I said, other than that one drive, the defense, that Dallas never was sniffing coming back because of the defense today. So kudos to the defense. Kudos to Sam Howell getting the game ball for sure. And Washington fans walking away with a good win. We would definitely say this isn't a successful season, but this was a sweet taste at the end of a rough season, as far as from expectations perspective.
Absolutely. 100%, man. 100%.
But so you got anything else, Reg?
That's all I got, man. I can go to work tomorrow with my head held high.
Oh man, yeah, us here in Dallas, Reggie and I both, we'll be talking a little Commander noise to any and all Cowboy fans out there. They might not get up from their desk to come talk to me, but I will certainly represent and go talk to them and let them know what I think about the game here. So
yeah, all they're gonna talk about is the fact that they're in the playoffs. That's gonna be the comeback, I'm sure. Well, we in the playoffs, didn't matter, blah blah blah. But that's okay.
Yeah, ask them if it felt like it mattered during the game while they were watching it. They know it mattered. They know it mattered.
Damn right, it mattered for sure.
Just like this game didn't matter to us if we won or not. Yeah, all us Commander fans with a smile on our face, we know it. We know it mattered, right? It matters in your heart. It matters in your heart.
It matters. So, well, all good, man. All good. Just give a quick reaction to today's game, and we'll be back. Stay tuned. We'll do a little season end recap of some things, and just do a little outlook down the road. But until then, y'all, peace out.
Peace out, knuckleheads. Hail to the Commanders.
Right on.